This is the incredible tale of a man who was born as a dwarf but lived to be a giant. When Adam Rayner reached 18 years of age, he measured less than 4.5 feet in height. Over the course of approximately 15 years, he astonishingly grew to be 7 feet 1 inch tall, officially qualifying as a giant. It is uncertain whether Adam ever wished to become taller, but his story serves as a cautionary tale of the adage, "Be careful what you wish for." Little is known about Adam's personal life, as his unique medical condition garnered most of the attention. His story has become legendary, but it requires no embellishment. Adam Rayner holds the distinction of being the sole individual in history recorded as both a dwarf and a giant, an extraordinary phenomenon caused by a combination of dwarfism and a pituitary gland tumor that baffled medical professionals. Regrettably, this condition was also accompanied by various other severe health problems. Adam Rayner was born in Graz, Austria, in 1899 to parents of average height. However, it became apparent early on that he grew at a different rate than his peers. Even as an adult, Adam Rayner was only the size of a child due to his stunted growth. When World War I occurred, Adam tried to enlist in the army, but his conspicuously small stature led doctors to perform a series of tests that deemed him unfit to be an effective soldier. At just 4 feet and 6 inches tall, he was classified as a dwarf, and the cutoff height was 4 foot 10. What made Rayner's dwarfism particularly unusual compared to others was the size of his hands and feet. Despite his short height, he wore a size 10 shoe, or 43 in European sizes. 1 year later, Adam Rayner had grown another 2 inches and tried to enlist again, but he was denied again because he was still too short. In 1920, at 21 years old, when most people stopped growing, Adam was still well below average height, relatively thin, and underweight. Most doctors and people in his life assumed that he would remain a dwarf for the rest of his life. Something unusual happened to Rayner. He didn't just grow 2 inches but started growing at an alarming rate that showed no signs of stopping. In his early 30s, Rayner was towering over everyone at a height of over 7 feet, far above the 4 foot 10 cutoff. Doctors were perplexed by Rayner's sudden growth spurt, and 2 doctors, Dr. A. Amandel and Dr. F. Winhals, began examining him in 1930. They suspected that Rayner had developed a specific type of tumor that causes abnormal growth of the face, hands, and feet due to an overproduction of growth hormones called acromegaly. The condition is commonly seen in individuals like iconic wrestler Andre the Giant or the Munsters star Fred Gwynne. Rayner's enlarged hands and feet were noticeable symptoms of acromegaly, and over time, his face became more square in shape due to his protruding jaw and eyebrows. Rayner also experienced fatigue a significant portion of the time, which is another common symptom of acromegaly. According to a report by Dr. Oscar Hirsch in 1961, Adam Rayner had difficulty biting normally due to his abnormally large tongue. Rayner had also been losing his hearing since he was 26 years old. His spinal issues had started because of his rapid growth, and each growth spurt caused his spine to curve sideways. Eventually, the doctors found out that Rayner had a tumor in his pituitary gland that had been growing for over 10 years. Although the surgery to remove the tumor was risky, Mandel and Winhals decided to go ahead with it. On December 2, 1930, Rayner underwent the surgery and it was successful. A few months later, Rayner went for a checkup and the doctors were happy to see that his height had not increased, but his spinal curvature had worsened. This meant that although his growth was slower, it had not stopped. Adam Rayner's health deteriorated over time, with his right eye losing vision and his spine curvature worsening as he approached middle age. Some accounts suggested that he was often bedridden and unable to care for himself due to the pain, leading him to spend his last years in an aged home in Austria. However, according to a report by Hirsch, Rayner was capable of taking care of himself and was never confined to bed. Although he was clumsy, he was kind to his roommates, as reported by his doctor at home. Adam Rayner eventually died at the age of 51 due to complications from surgery related to perforation of his large intestine and peritonitis. Unfortunately, no autopsy was conducted. During his lifetime, Adam Rayner was believed to be an astounding 7 feet and 8 inches tall by most accounts, although some suggest he may have been 7 feet and 10 inches tall. It's worth noting that he holds the unique distinction of being the only person in history to be classified as both a dwarf and a giant during their lifetime.
Thank you for watching. Hope enjoy the video and please subscribe and hit the like button.